New project in the shop today, and we'll probably take this thing to a car show. Kay's back.
Howdy.
To pull them rear shocks off, get that back together and get the body back on. Let's go for a ride. It's a Volkswagen kind of day around here. We've kicked, we've fought. All right, so let's fire it up and see what happens. We'll have the body going back on in no time. Ron's gonna be so happy. It's like a new car. The engine's nice and quiet. The little speed buggy's alive. Hey. New project in the shop today. Ron's dune buggy. So my buddy Ron from Tahoe has had this dune buggy since I believe 1969. Basically as long as I've been alive. He's owned this dune buggy. It's kind of a funny little fun fact with this dune buggy. If you look at the roll bar, it's got a little bit of a bend right there. It's kind of not in the middle. It's off to one side just a little bit. It's got a little dimple from a chain. When he was building the resort in Tahoe, they had a big crane up there. And some of the guys played a trick on him while he was at lunch. And they chained around the roll bar and they raised that dune buggy all the way up to the top of the crane, probably 1,000 feet in the air or better. And Ron come out and said, "Hey, has anybody seen my dune buggy?" And they all just kind of said no and laughed. When he finally realized it, it was hanging way up in the air. And yeah, that's a bad joke to play on somebody, to hang their car from a crane. But anyway, we're going to get started on this thing. We got a couple things to fix. It's got this nasty carburetor on it that just doesn't run right. He wants it removed. He's tired of it. It floods. It runs lean. It doesn't start. It won't idle cold. We're going back to an original carburetor, and then somebody did some work on it a while back, and they took it upon themselves to put a body lift in it. He hates the body lift. I want to take the body lift out. Basically, it caused the steering to bind up. So when you do a body lift on these, if you don't engineer it and build it right from the get-go, when you lift the body, it binds the steering in the front. So he wants that put back down. Original, he wants new tires on it. We're going to get the wheels polished up. And he ordered disc brakes. He's been running adapters on these wheels, and one of them failed here not too long ago, so it's been kind of an issue. So we're going to get rid of the adapters. We're going to put disc brakes on to where these wheels will bolt directly to the disc brake. Get rid of the adapter and just clean up a few little things that's wrong with it. Been having trouble with the shifter, so while I have the body off the pan, I'll inspect that. I think we're going to repaint the pan, polish it up. We're going to get these seats covered so they're not so, they're not so abrasive on you as far as the vinyl. And we'll probably take this thing to a car show. So let's get started. Still working on the dune buggy. Kay's back.
Howdy.
Back from the whirlybirds. So he's come over to give me a hand today. We pulled this motor out of the Bradley GT out on the trailer in the heat. We didn't film any of that, but there it is. Carrera Panamericana. But we're gonna get these bolts. I'm gonna get McKay on the inside, me on the outside, whatever, vice versa. We're gonna get all the bolts out of this body, and we are gonna get it ready to be lifted off. In fact, I don't know how far we are. I think once we get them bolts out, we can just lift it off. There might be a bolt up in the front. But anyway, we'll bring you along. Back at it. McKay is underneath undoing brake lines. We have a brake line wrapped around electrical. We got the front disconnected. We got all the bolts out. We're ready to separate. This foam was kind of glued. We're gonna have to scrape that off. It's kind of a mess. And then we'll get this body lifted up and out of the way and get it cleaned up and get a seal put on it and get ready to put the body back on the pan. And somebody is trying to get a hold of me. Well, we got the welding done, we got the tires swapped, getting ready to pull them rear shocks off. Then we're going to roll this thing out, steam clean it, and we're going to bring it back up, get some black paint sprayed on it, get it looking good, be ready to put the engine back together. I've got some things apart here I'm redoing. I'm doing a doghouse oil cooler, get that heat off that number 3 cylinder over there, and we'll get that back together and get the body back on. Ready to go for a ride? Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride. Oh, so much for the ride. So much for Ren. She's like, I don't want to ride in that dune bug. Time to get it cleaned up, get it painted up, get it back together. About to be another beautiful morning here in Lake Havasu City. Got the pan painted, put a little POR 15 on the high tread wear area. The rest of it's just kind of rattle canned. We're working on switching the carburetor out, getting the manifold done. We'll be doing disc brakes later on today, I believe. Got us a dual master cylinder on. Got that all rigged up, looks good. I like those dual master cylinders. Give you a lot better safety for stopping in case you lose a hose on one end. Been working on this a little bit, not too much, just a couple little tinker things, putting some trim on, getting badges on. Did get the windshield in, that was a good thing. Steve came back and did that. So we're gonna keep working on these side windows, see if we get them rolling up. And oh yeah, we got the motor here. The motor is out of the Bradley GT, so it's on the trailer going to a few car shows, but I'm not going to even unload it. But anyway, we're going to get that cleaned up and put it in later. And yeah, it's a Volkswagen kind of day around here. We got Volkswagen parts going on everywhere. Well, we've kicked, we've fought, we've got brakes working. We had leaks here, leaks there, leaks everywhere, but we won. So McKay's going to be our gas feeder, and we're going to start it up with this here single carburetor setup. Make sure there's no vacuum leaks, make sure there's no oil leaks on our new oil cooler, and probably won't run it long. Got wires touching exhaust and things like that. Go ahead and tip it up. Is it flood? Is it flooding? Oh yeah, I hear it filling. I hear it filling. Alright, so let's fire it up and see what happens.
Fuel pumping out the fuel pump. It's a fuel pumping out of the fuel pump.
Oh, looks like we got no spark. It acts like it's not sparking.
So you get power to the coil through the choke, right?
Yeah, through that, back fed through everything. It's just dumping fuel everywhere. We're gonna catch fire.
Squirting on me, I hope it doesn't catch fire.
I don't have any 1/4-inch hose to move it. Let's do that. We're gonna switch in with it running, but I figured we just don't need no spark on that gas. You're good with no gas. No.
I'm good with not catching my shorts on
Put that
fire.
thing straight up square. Very much fuel on it. go. Carburetor's adjusted and set. Sounds really good, runs really good. We'll get some fuel line plumbed, and we're waiting on one steering joint in the front and a shroud. We'll have the body going back on in no time. Well, the day has come. Disc brakes are done. Body seals are on. New tie rod end. New shocks. New steering dampener. Brakes are bled. Clutch is adjusted. Throttle is hooked up and adjusted. Literally gone through the whole top of this motor. New carburetor. New doghouse oil cooler. Should make it run cooler. Put the large pulley on, took the power pulley off, new belt. We are going to put the body back on today. So let's just get started. Well, it's time to give this thing a test. Well, it's got brakes. Woo! The brakes work. Four-wheel discuses are stopping.
Now we just need seat belts so that I don't go through the windshield.
I have seat belts. At least it wasn't wearing it. Oh, speedometer works. Amp gauge works. Port works. Oh yeah. Feels pretty good. It's nice and tight. Ron's gonna be so happy. Like a new car. The engine's nice and quiet. It's like perfect. Transmission shifts good again. Used to miss gears, now it just cruises. I put a new mirror in for him.
car show just because it runs so good.